It's another Thursday, and you are at the right place at the right time to be informed of issues of national interest. The program is Jamaica Magazine, and I am Lorraine Mendez. On the pages today, we've got information on the simplification of cross-border trading, getting rid of mosquito breeding sites, and protecting our natural resources. Those and so much more in today's broadcast. Stick around to experience it all.
What are we? You're full of our roots and culture. That was in Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up.
Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence.
A whole way of celebrating it. They say the people them, them come here, you know. But you see, when our people decide, say the other people them free paper, burn up. Them say if it's war, start it, whatever. We all collect medal, panta for it, you know.
Medal.
Amount of tongue we give them, you know.
The celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report.
I am on site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app to know what it pre. Activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration.
I forgot to download the app to get the updates then.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, June 23. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is encouraging other developing countries to start using technology as a tool to create economic value. According to Mr. Holness, developing countries must move away from being merely consumers of technology and instead be originators, creators, and innovators. At the same time, he says leaders must ensure there is equal access for all citizens.
The internet and digital technologies are critical drivers of wealth creation and prosperity in our society. Governments must be deliberate in ensuring that this public good is equitably accessible to all citizens. Otherwise, it could come to define a new dimension of poverty, that of knowledge poverty.
The Prime Minister was speaking on Wednesday at the Commonwealth Business Forum Heads of Government and Business Leaders Roundtable. Prime Minister Holness is in Kigali, Rwanda for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting from June 20 to 25. Among the agenda items for the meeting is a vote by the 54 members who were once British colonies to decide the next Secretary General of the Commonwealth. Jamaica's Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith is vying for the post. Back on the island, government's efforts to open new avenues for investment along the north coast have been bolstered by the addition of yet another international commercial flight into the Ian Fleming International Airport. The St. Mary-based airport welcomed QCAS Aero's inaugural exclusive premium non-stop flight from Fort Lauderdale in Florida yesterday. Transport Minister Audley Shaw says this increase in Jamaica's aviation traffic also serves to stimulate and boost economic opportunities for the eastern end of the island.
I urge players in the food and agro-service industries to position themselves to capitalize on a market previously unrealized. What of opportunities in health, safety, and the environment? The more investments made, the greater opportunities for earnings and expanded business opportunities, which can help to reduce rural-urban drift.
The minister says no effort will be spared in continuing to upgrade Jamaica's aerodromes and, by extension, the aviation industry to further expand on these opportunities. QCAS Aero, the first scheduled international commercial flight from the United States into Ian Fleming, will initially operate its executive Type 30-seat aircraft once per week on Thursdays. The introduction of this service comes a week after the airport welcomed its first scheduled commercial flight, an Inter-Caribbean Airways flight from Providenciales in the Turks and Caicos. American Airlines is expected to begin operating non-stop flights from Miami to the airport under its American Eagle regional brand by November. The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce is collaborating with other government entities on several strategies to develop the local medicinal cannabis industry. State Minister Dr. Norman Dunn says measures include fast-tracking new product approvals, especially for cannabis manufacturers who want to diversify to access new market opportunities. Developing regulations on dosing standards for tablets in the medicinal cannabis trade, as well as closely monitoring legislative changes in the United States federal system are also among the initiatives.
In addition, the Ministry, along with JAMPRO and the CLA, is fast-tracking finalization of the import-export regulations, hemp regulations, and amendments to the current interim regulations. We're also finalizing regulations for the cultivator transitional special permit, and through the Cannabis Development Task Force, we'll be working to promulgate a comprehensive national policy to develop a blueprint for the direction of this industry.
Minister Dunn was speaking at the recent launch of Epicon's 16 rare cannabis strains at Marketplace on Constant Spring Road. He says the ministry is considering proposals from the Cannabis Development Task Force for a national lab with state-of-the-art testing capabilities, as well as engaging local financial institutions to finance cannabis companies. The Denby Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show is back after a 2-year hiatus brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. Denby 68 will be held from July 30 to August 1 at the Denby Showgrounds in Maypen, Clarendon, under the theme Grow Smart, Eat Smart. Agriculture Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says this year's staging, which coincides with Jamaica 60, should be one that makes a statement.
We want energy. We want excitement. We want us to be aggressively moving. We don't want a pian Denby. This Denby must be the Denby that shows that we've been hibernating for 2 years and we have energy of 2 years in one. 3 years in one. And this has to be the Denby where we make a statement to Jamaica and to the region. We are going to take a smarter approach to the agricultural sector.
Denby 68, which was launched on Wednesday, will feature youth in agriculture, children, and health and wellness villages. Agricultural, horticultural, and livestock displays, a national farm queen coronation, and a gospel show are also planned. Gates will be open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily. Admission is $1,200 for adults and $600 for children. Tickets will be available at the gate. Persons can now receive real-time parenting support by way of a new mobile messaging service dubbed Parent Text. It's being delivered through the Ministry of Education under the European Union-funded Spotlight initiative. Parents of children aged 0 to 17 years will receive free parenting tips from the automated Parent Text Jamaica. Encouragement will come in the form of text messages, voice notes, video clips, and GIFs.
I trust that out of the sharing of information through the Parent Text messaging service, that more parents will take responsibilities seriously and to become more directly involved in their children's education and overall care.
It offers parents and caregivers free guidance and useful tips on how to help our children build relationships with them, use effective alternatives to violent discipline, practice positive reinforcement.
To access this mobile service, persons can text or WhatsApp the word PARENT to 876-838-4897. And finally, the Ministry of Education and Youth has officially launched its Fathers Read Too campaign to highlight the role of fathers in the educational development of children. To kickstart its campaign, the ministry unveiled a mural in downtown Kingston on Sunday designed to encourage more fathers to read to their children. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams says by cultivating a love for reading, parents are giving their children the competitive advantage and opportunity to excel in a wide range of subjects at school. The mural was commissioned by the ministry and done in partnership with United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, and the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Cross-border trade is being simplified through the Jamaica Single Window for Trade, J-Swift. This online platform is the work of the Jamaica Customs Agency. Let's learn more.
With the implementation of digital platforms to facilitate trade, the ease of doing business is not just a phrase, but reality. Through the ratification of the Trade Facilitation Agreement, the government of Jamaica has put systems in place to improve cross-border trade.
This is definitely a step in the right direction.
The following services are available through J-Swift. These include motor vehicle dealership license, heavy-duty equipment import permit, as well as for hydrogen and rare gases. Traders will also be able to access import permits for refined sugar and milk powder, motor vehicle and motorcycle, as well as for chassis and clips. For persons importing plant and plant-based products, such permit is available through J-Swift.
Right now with the new J-Swift platform, it's a preferred method.
Using this platform, the Jamaica Customs Agency, the Trade Board Limited, and other border regulatory agencies across Jamaica are able to process documents submitted online by traders in a timely manner. That also includes certificate of origin.
So currently, the respective parties are able to go online and do a self-registration, providing their details, and that to do with the company to which are being associated. And thereafter, they will have access to a suite of online applications. So whether it is for applying for a permit, applying for a license, or in this case, a certificate of origin, which is involved in exports.
After registering and receiving your user login from the J-Swift platform, the trader is now able to make an application. The system also allows for the attachment of supporting documents.
For example, if you're doing a motor vehicle import application, you'll be required to submit the pre-shipment inspection, the invoice, and of course the other documents, for example, the certificate of registration or title. There are others which will just require simply a commercial invoice, and there are others which will require more details by way of the data that is being submitted on the application form.
The most recent service offered on the J-Swift platform by the Trade Board Limited is that of the Certificate of Origin. The trader will enter the exporter and co-signee details on the general information page of the application. The trader will then complete the special segment, which includes the country of destination, producer or manufacturer details, transport details, followed by the item details page, which will allow the trader to enter each item and commercial description along with the country of origin, the origin criterion, and invoice details. The related invoice must then be uploaded as a supporting document, after which the trader will submit the application and proceed to make payment using the online payment service. The application will thereafter be assigned in real time to an officer for processing. The approved certificate of origin with the electronic signature, stamp, and reference number will be available for download once the application has been approved. The trader will also benefit from a system-generated CARICOM invoice with details of the approved products from the certificate of origin. If the application consists of clothing and textile, the system will also generate a certificate of Jamaican origin, JN2 or JN3, with the relevant details.
There are a list of criteria that we check for based on whenever the clients submit their documents to us. So we check to ensure that both invoice and certificates, the consignee and the the company that is exporting the product is indeed correct. We also check to ensure that no clients will be exporting another client's product, because that can be a breach on our part. Each certifying officer will check to ensure that all products are deemed certified for export for duty-free treatment. Once that is done, we approve the document, and those documents are then sent back to the client via their dashboard, where they are able to print it, and they're also able to upload the same document to the Asikuda system.
Another benefit to using the J-Swift platform is making payments. That can also be done on the system, eliminating the need to go to multiple places for this transaction.
After the payment is done, you will get a verification from the J-Swift platform saying the permit has been paid for and is being processed. So in in a day or two, you'd get an email that permit has been approved. So in fact, it doesn't take very long to do the payment. Once the payment has been made and verified, the Trade Board will assign an assessor to work on that application.
Before you are able to submit your certificate of origin on the J-Swift system, there's a key element. You would have to complete your product analysis form so that we can tell you if your product qualifies for duty-free treatment. If it does qualify, we will submit a letter to you informing you. But if it does not qualify, we'll still submit a letter to you, but we will guide you and provide you with the necessary information to tell you why.
To help stakeholders maneuver the J-Swift platform, the Jamaica Customs Agency is carrying out ongoing training sessions.
Along with the training sessions, what we have done is to prepackage the material. So we do have our YouTube channel that is Learning J-Swift, which has quite a bit of the videos, which would guide persons as to use the service. We also have our e-learning platform, that's learning.jswift.gov.jm, where persons can go and register for the online learning platform and of course enroll and go through the training material at their own pace and at their time and convenience.
With J-Swift coming online with Certificate of Origin, the EUR, I am sure that trade will be speeded up.
So far for us, it has been very efficient. It's less time taken up to having to stamp so many documents because it's now digital. And with all of that, we're able to focus on additional duties that we have that is need to be completed at the Trade Board.
The online services certainly is a step in the right direction. We do understand the constraints of the pandemic and the need for us to provide services that are far more convenient to our citizens or traders.
Jamaica Single Window for Trade, J-Swift, enabling faster processing and release of commodities, transparency, trader compliance, reduced cost associated with trade regulatory requirements, while fostering best practice and improving trade standards.
We are in the rainy season. That usually means more opportunities for water to settle in containers around the home and even our business places. If left unchecked, this will provide the ideal breeding environment for the Aedes aegypti mosquito, and that is a threat to public health. So, our appeal today is for you to search and destroy these sites.
We're looking for any container or anything which can hold water. It doesn't need a lot of water for that mosquito to deposit its eggs. Very shallow quantity of water they can deposit in it.
The rain has fallen and this has collected water. And if it is allowed to sit in the environment for a couple of days, the Aedes aegypti will breed on it. This is a plastic over a pail and the water is on the plastic. This is a beautiful breeding site for the Aedes aegypti mosquito. We have a similar one right here. There's water on the top of this container and the Aedes aegypti mosquito will breed in it. Once the water begins to evaporate and she has a space to lay her eggs, she will lay her eggs and this will then become a breeding site. Turn it over. We do appreciate that roof gutters are very necessary in some areas that do not have piped water, so it helps to collect the rainwater when it comes. However, if these roof drains become blocked by trash or other things, then it makes the water stagnant and it becomes a major breeding site for the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So it's important if you have these roof gutters that you keep them clear, that the water is able to run. Even among your plants, we have plants that are, because of how the leaves overlap each other, they are able to collect water. And Aedes aegypti loves to breed in those environments. We suggest that persons do. If you think you love these plants and you want them, put them in pots. So when they do collect water, you're able to pick up the pots, drain them out and put them down, because as it is right now, it's very difficult for us to get rid of the water, and they will just continue to be in the environment as breeding sites.
This is a tire which has been discarded, but it's just in the backyard, and what we have now is apparently rainwater has now settled inside there, and we have it breeding. The ADs are back to the breeding inside here. It can be used as an enclosure for your plants, like a potted plant situation. So what we'll show you now is how we can have it filled with dirt that will ensure that when rain does fall, mosquito will not breed in it.
There's also a method of stacking the tires so that they will not collect water. We advise the tire shop owners to, for each tire that they get, to punch a hole in each of the tires. Once that is done, they can stock them in this plaiting form. So they have one row going in a particular direction and then another set going in the opposite direction, and they will continue with this. What this does, it allows the water to be directed towards where the hole is bored. So even if the rain comes and water goes in, the water will not settle but go out. We know that most churches have what is called a baptismal pool. And we have found baptismal pools to be a major breeding site for the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So what is it that churches should do? We recommend that all baptismal pools be covered properly so that the mosquito will not have access to it for breeding. Sometimes the pools are shaped very funny, and so it's very difficult to cover. In those instances, we ask persons to empty the pool at least once per week. And after emptying the pool, we ask that you scrub the sides to ensure that you have dislodged all the eggs. So we saw many sites that were breeding the Aedes aegypti mosquito today. And we saw that these sites were found in and around our homes, business places. And if we do not deal with these breeding sites, they are going to continue to be there, posing a risk for the transmission of diseases because they are breeding the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So you must take action to rid your environment of those sites. So what is it that we're asking you to do? We want you to make this a habit. Once a week, search for and destroy the breeding sites of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
Up next, we help you to understand the role of the Urban Development Corporation, the UDC, in its stewardship of the environment.
Environmental management and monitoring are core responsibilities the Urban Development Corporation UDC carries out in protected areas in Negril, Ocho Rios, Montego Bay, Helsha Hills, part of Portland Bight, Port Royal and Palisadoes. As such, the corporation is committed to mitigating negative impacts on our natural resources through monitoring and enforcement by 6 environmental protection officers.
When we speak about natural resources, the simplest thing to think about is the environment and everything that it entails. So the plants, the animals, we're looking at the soil, the water, all different aspects of it that all interrelate, and also how the people interact with it.
To reinforce its conservation measures, the UDC carries out sound environmental planning and monitoring, management of protected areas, as well as environmental education and outreach programs.
So we carry out monitoring either on a monthly or a quarterly basis. This gives us an idea of what the impact of anything that we're doing to the natural resources.
Some of these interventions involve bringing internal and external stakeholders together to carry out various activities to commemorate days that bring awareness to different areas of the environment.
Our largest activity to date has been International Coastal Cleanup Day. We have it in Helsha, and we did collect a substantial amount of plastics and other garbage.
The conservation program is also extended to the critically endangered sea turtles.
So in St. Anne's in particular, we have started a program of monitoring the nests, seeing when they occur, ensuring that they're safeguarded while they are there, and then enable the hatchlings to be able to return to sea. So far, in the last 3 years, we've had a very successful program. We've had over 2,000 hawkbill turtles returning to the sea.
A similar program is being carried out with the Jamaican iguana, another endangered species that is found in the Hellshire Hills area.
Young hatchlings are carried to the Hope Zoo, which they are nurtured until they get to a certain size and weight, and then they are returned to the wild. This is supposed to give them a competitive advantage against predators.
And did you know?
At the Green Gutter Caves, we actually have 11 out of the 21 species of bat that are found in Jamaica. So what we do is monitor the caves to ensure that the habitat is safe and suitable for the bats.
We also monitor to see what's going on with the crocodile. So for now, we look at the nest, we also look at the birds that are around, and to see how everybody is doing. So it's like we have a big ecosystem.
NEPA delegated the UDC with management authority over the Hellshire Hills in 1999, so that's another way in which we collaborate, and most recently an MOU to develop the Goat Islands.
Since then, the corporation has been working with stakeholders and other users of the area to carefully balance the development of urban settlements with the delicate ecology of the area.
For our non-governmental partners, one of our major partners is CCAM, which is the Caribbean Coastal Area Management Foundation. And with them, we partner in managing the Portland Bight area, which is the largest protected area in Jamaica.
I'd urge persons who are visiting and living within the boundaries of the protected area to not dispose of their garbage in irresponsible ways, because they eventually get to the marine environment.
The corporation ensures that it remains compliant with national and international environmental policies, legislations, and regulations by conducting monthly and quarterly checks of all its facilities and attractions. This is to ensure that these facilities are constantly at the required standard for safe use by patrons.
So the UDC also sits on the Beaches Control Committee, as well as the National Council of Ocean and Coastal Zone Management Committee, both of which are responsible for creating national policies relating to the conservation of the coastal zone across Jamaica.
The Urban Development Corporation, achieving sustainable development within the corporation's designated areas by creating a balance between development and management of natural resources. A prime example is the soon-to-be implemented Goat Island Wildlife Sanctuary. To learn more about the work of the Urban Development Corporation, call 876-656-8031 or visit their website at udcja.com. You may also follow them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, or visit their information center on the ground floor, Kingston Mall, downtown Kingston.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash, no paper, no dash, no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your eat.
Keep the island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Join us again tomorrow when we bring you another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website jis.gov.jm. And while you are online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the production crew, I'm Lorraine Mendez. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.